Yo guys, what is going on? It is the Tenacious Gamer, and with E3 just passed, I was taking a look back and I realised that everyone was getting really hyped about the really mainstream titles, but when I took into consideration what I was really hyped about, a lot of them actually weren't games that everyone else was hyped about, and maybe this isn't because they were in the spotlight, so to be. So today I'm going to be going through the 5 games that I am actually really excited for to release that were featured during E3 2017. Hope you guys enjoy. Of course, if you do, don't forget to smash that like button. So the first game I want to talk about is Total War Warhammer 2. Now I know this might be mainstream to some of you guys, but a little bit of people that are outside of the strategy side of gaming might not actually know about this. They might have maybe heard of Total War Warhammer or Total War series, but they might not have heard of this one. And to be honest, I'm really excited for this, as since I was probably about 9 or 10 years old, actually, I've been a fan of the Warhammer 40k series, but initially what struck my interest was when I walked outside a Games Workshop and I seen the lizard men in the window, and that's actually what dragged me into the shop, and ever since I've just been a fan. And with this Total War game, they are actually bringing the lizard men, the high elves, and loads of those other factions into the game, and it just looks beautiful. Once again, it looks like they've done a really good job so far, and I'm really hoping it's as good as the first Total War game. That's why it's on the list, that's why I'm hyped, just because it's purely something that I've admired. I've admired the universe and the whole lore around Warhammer since I've been about 9 or 10, and I'm about 18 years old now. So this game for me was straight away, when I seen it, I was just hyped from the start, and I'm definitely going to pre-order it even at the price point it's at, because no doubt it's going to be as good as the first one. And now you've got the lizard men, my favourite Warhammer army, in there. So let's move on to the next game. The next game on my list has to be Fortnite, and Fortnite is actually a game that I've followed for forever. Honestly, I love the art style they've gone for here. And what it is it's basically tons of different missions, but they're all revolved in defending something in some sort of way. So one of them might be that you have to turn on all these different generators, so it might be like 10 generators that you have to turn on, and then that will link to a main core or something, and throughout you might have to defend the first generator, then you move on and defend the second generator. And there's different classes, and you scavenge for materials by destroying things within the world, and then you can build bases and build traps, and zombies and all these different types of zombies will come and try and attack the base and try and attack the thing you're defending, and obviously you defend it. And it just looks really fun with all the traps. It's very cartoony, very stylish, and of course with the classes involved, obviously everyone has a different purpose, so obviously different characters will enable you to different things. But apparently there is actually like a progression system to the game, in which you can take basically like a base hero that you'll get early on in the game, and you can build them so that they're a very strong character, similar to the characters that you would unlock higher on later on in the game. And this is pretty much the reason why I love Fortnite, just the art style, the concept of the game, and just the way it actually plays. I've seen H2O Delirious and that have actually made a few videos on this now, and I've got to say I really do love the look of the game, and I'm really excited to picking it up. The next game I'm really looking forward to is the Darwin Project. And the Darwin Project is basically a load of people that are put in prison, and there's a big massive surplus and population of prisoners, and of course when you need to get rid of some people, what do? Well, you host a game show. It's kind of like the Hunger Games, where everyone's battling and the last one alive wins. Well, that's kind of basically the logic behind the Darwin Project, although instead of people from different districts, it's people from prisons, and they're all battling against each other. And this one, kind of like Fortnite, it has a very stylish look to it, and there's different elements to different characters, and obviously different abilities, different weapons that you can craft and things like that. But what really strikes me about this game is that there's actually a real life player controlled game leader, and the game leader can make certain things happen within the game, sort of like in the Hunger Games, where the hosts of the show can actually make certain things happen or different things happen, is kind of like the Darwin Project. So I remember the developer saying something along the lines of, say that an airstrike could be called in on a certain area. The game host could see that maybe there's 2 people way away from everyone else on the map, so you could call an airstrike on the area to try and force them towards other people. And what he can also do is he can make people visible on a mini-map to everyone else, so it really makes everything a lot more interesting. Or he could make like a tornado or a storm and things like that, and it makes it interesting because it's not just something like, say, H1Z1 where you're basically, the aim is kill the other people, be the last one alive. This is, you gotta be the last one alive like H1, but then the difference is that you've got someone who could really screw you over or really change the odds on the way the battle plays. And because of this game leader, I feel that every game is going to be different, whereas with H1 some games could be a bit repetitive, and this is why I love the Darwin Project. The next game on this list is Earthfull, and Earthfull is kind of like Left 4 Dead 2 in the way the game plays. A lot of people have actually called it a reskin of Left 4 Dead 2, but of course instead of zombies you have aliens, and you have different types of aliens, different mutant aliens, and it looks pretty cool, especially with Left 4 Dead being quite a few years old now. Not as many people playing it, and the graphics just aren't holding up as well as maybe they were back when it released. So I reckon by the time this game comes out of early access, the game should look pretty phenomenal. It's got a bit of a cartoony vibe though, which I wish they didn't go for, as obviously a bit of realism could really push this game far and make it sell way more, and obviously get a bigger player base. And obviously Left 4 Dead 2 has always looked interesting, but being that it's a few years old, I haven't really picked it up. But I've heard and I've seen a lot of gameplay, and it does look pretty fun, Left 4 Dead 2. So hopefully this can be like a Left 4 Dead 2 style game with aliens, but bring a bit of a punch and a bit of a graphical boost to the way the game looks. The next game is a very mainstream game, and it's actually a sequel to one of the first games I ever played on this channel. Now most of you won't know it because the video is not up anymore, but if you're wondering what this game is, the game of course is Battlefront II. Battlefront 1 was very interesting when it first launched, very cool game, and the gameplay felt very nice, but over time it was just a bit repetitive, not enough heroes, there was no proper campaign, and so it felt a bit lackluster in areas. But Battlefront 2 looks to have addressed most of those problems in, of course, this game coming out soon. So what I like about this is, of course, you've got way more heroes in this game. You've got different eras of the Star Wars universe. Obviously you've got the Clone Wars, and then you'll have obviously the Empire, and then I'm pretty sure they are having like the Force Awakens scene, which will be obviously after the Empire. And I'm actually really excited for this, because obviously then it gives diversity to the gameplay in the sense that you've got a campaign to play, for one. Once you're finished with the campaign, if there's no playability to the campaign once you've finished it, at least you've got the multiplayer. Instead of the multiplayer being so repetitive in Rebels versus Stormtroopers, Rebels, Stormtroopers, Rebels, Stormtroopers, with the same heroes, it means that maybe one game you're playing Rebels and Stormtroopers with Han Solo and Darth Vader as the heroes and the enemies, but then the next game you've got clones and droids and then obviously your heroes might be like Darth Maul as the enemy, and Commander Cody or Captain Rex or someone like that as the hero. You don't know, but to me it gives it a lot more diversity, makes the gameplay way more interesting, and I'm actually really excited for this. Hopefully there's a few more game modes than the last game as well. That would be very nice to see. The only thing I didn't like about the gameplay at E3 is obviously they mashed everything in together, but I'm not too concerned, as I purely just believe this is to give the people playing the game a taste of what everything plays like. So obviously Darth Maul is from a different era to Rey, but then obviously it would give the people playing the game a chance to feel what Rey would feel like playing as, but then also giving them to have a chance playing as someone like Darth Maul, who has a double-bladed lightsaber, who should realistically play a lot different to someone like Rey, and I believe this is why they just mashed the eras up together at E3. But overall this is looking solid, and this has actually got to be my most hyped game so far on this list. Thank you guys for watching. Of course, if you did enjoy this video, please don't forget to smash that motherfucking like button, comment, and as always, subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next video. Stay classy. Peace out.